Two guys played the same exact game for the same exact 7 days. One of them doubled his community, 100% jump, and the other grew by 8%. And this is the part that does not make sense. The guy who grew by 8%, he did way more work and he sent more invites. He logged more hours. So why did the small guy win? I run a weekly competition building school communities with a bunch of dads on School Dads. Week 1 just wrapped of the School Dad games, and there were 39 check-ins of real data. And that scoreboard accidentally taught me, 5 rules about motivation. And 4 of them, are the opposite of what most people believe. Give me a second and let me show you what I mean. So here's the scoreboard, right? The game, right? The same game, same week. On the left, you have the small room, which grew 100%. And on the right, you'll have the big room, which grew by 8%. Now, if I scored this on raw totals alone, on who invited the most people or who did the most work, the big room wins hands down. And it's not even close. But that is not how the games are designed. And that is the design choice that I made that changed everything. The small community is the one that won because the game was not measuring the size of your audience. It was measuring your growth. And that tiny difference is, the first rule. So here are your 5 rules. Each one is a single number from the data. And the psychology that's underneath it. And then, I'll give you one thing that you can use tomorrow morning. So here we go. Rule number 1, everyone has to be able to win. It hands down, if you want to build an engaging challenge or event or anything where you want people to participate, everybody needs to be able to participate. I ran a Biggest Loser competition at work. It was never about how much weight you lost. Guys win hands down in the first 2 weeks. Ladies, this is true. Yeah, so we always did it by percentages. So you have to make because the moment of the goal feels impossible, people quit. And that's not a weakness. It's actually how we're wired. Psychologists call this self-efficacy. The effort tracks how winnable something feels, not on how big the prize is. So watch what happens when you score on growth instead of size. Adam started with 13 members and finished with 26. He doubled. On a percentage basis, he beats everyone, even the guys with much bigger rooms. If I had scored this by the raw totals, Adam never even would have showed up on the leaderboard. And it would squash his confidence, competence, and, forward momentum. Score it on percentage of your own starting point. And suddenly, the beginner and the veteran are playing the game that they both actually can win. So here's your takeaway. Whatever you are chasing, sales, workouts, followers, subscribers, measure yourself against your own self last week. Beat yesterday, not the champion. By beating yesterday, it keeps you in the game. Beat the champion is how you talk yourself into quitting. So let's move to rule number 2. The vital few actually carry everything. And that is not a problem you need to fix. Look at this. Out of 8 guys, mind you, the community has almost 200 participants. 2 of them produced 80% of all of the content. The deep focus work, almost entirely those same 2 participants. This is the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule. And it showed up in a group of 8, not 8,000, 8. It is the natural shape of any group where people are choosing how hard to go. A handful always carries the rest. And here is what actually surprised me. The crowd shrank all week, like down, 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 down. 8 guys on Monday and all the way down to 4 guys on Sunday. But the work did not shrink with it. Sunday, the only 4 guys left was the single biggest day of the entire week. 73 invites, 36 of the content pieces delivered. Few people, more intensity. The core did not fade, it just hardened. And so stop measuring the health of your thing by how many people showed up. Measure whether the core, the people who are really leaning into this, are they getting stronger? A shrinking crowd with a hardened core is not a problem. It's actually a good day. Feed those core and do not burn yourself out chasing the people that are drifting outside the door. Let's move to rule 3. And this one costs me an assumption. A scoreboard reinforces the people already playing. It almost never reactivates the ones who left. We lost half of the room, 8 down to 4. And I had this beautiful daily post that gave you instruction on what to do. That way people could easily step in. I even had a button that said, "Hey, you can catch up. Look at the full playbook." When I checked the numbers, the guys reading and reacting to that post were the guys already checked in. The post was not pulling anyone back. It was preaching to the people who were already in the room. Why? Because the leaderboard is fuel if you are engaged, and it is just noise if you're completely checked out. So, or worse, it's a reminder that you're failing. So if you're trying to win somebody back, maybe a customer who went quiet, a friend who ghosted a group chat, a teammate who turned out, a louder feed will not do it. A direct message, that will do it. The scoreboard is for the people who are already in the arena. The people who walked out, they need you to knock on the door. Let's jump to rule 4. Make showing up the win. One of the dads was on vacation the whole time, and he still checked in every single day. He logged honest zeros. This is brilliant because 0 invites, 0 content, $0. Yeah, it's defeating. But what really counts is the fact that he checked in consistently, and that counted as a win. That's a win on purpose. But here's why this matters. Once you consistently check in over and over and over again, you stop wanting to break the streak. That's loss aversion. This is exactly why those language apps are so sticky. But streaks, they die the second the bar is way too high on those bad days. So we separated showing up from performing. You show your face, the streak lives, even if your number is 0. So how are you going to apply this? Well, lower the bar to showing up, not actually performing. Just have people check in and make it really simple. One word. Log the workout, even if it's only 5 minutes. Open the doc, even if you write 1 line. The streak you protect on your worst days is the one that actually compounds. Or the way we like to say it is imperfect action creates impact. So let's move to 5. Rule number 5 is you get what you measure. And there are two traps hiding in this sentence. Trap number one is the easy stuff to count thrives. So 252 invites, 138 pieces of content, but the deep, focused work, the stuff that is hard to actually measure, basically flatlined for everyone but two guys, and I'm one of them. People do what is easy to log. Trap number two, the money. We logged $544 for the week, but 500 of that was from one guy on a Monday. And like this is a week later. When outcomes are lumpy, they are things that lag. If you judge your week by the outcome, you will ride a roller coaster. I mean, you'll have ups and downs, ups and downs. Judge it by the behaviors you actually control. So how do you apply this? Well, gamify the reps, not the results. Track, did you do the work? Not did you get the win? And even once in a while, ask yourself the really hard question. Is the work that you're doing right now counting towards making things better? Or is it the thing that is really, really easy to count? So there you have it, the whole report. 1, let everyone win. 2, the vital few will carry everything. 3, a direct message will reactivate people. The feed does not. 4, showing up is the win. And 5, measure the reps, not the results. Now, here's the thing. I don't just study this stuff. I mean, yes, I nerd out and I love the analytics and everything, but I build rooms like this. The whole competition lives inside of the community of guys, growing on Skool. And the scoreboard, the streaks, the weekly game, that is the kind of system that I help people build. If you want to build a community that basically runs itself just like this, that's exactly what I do inside of MemberFlow. Come join us at skool.com/memberflow. Again, that is skool.com/memberflow. And do me a favor, in the comments, tag me. Tell me which one of the 5 rules you're going to apply tomorrow. I'll see you in MemberFlow.